last page, page 212. And I'll read something from this page. It says, I could choose to lament over the second stolen election in quotes or see something worth celebrating. I can choose to see the glass half full or half empty. I choose to see it half full. The Grand Coalition government was a forced marriage that reminded most of us of the, in quotes again, stolen election. Ushering it off the stage marked the end of a government that reminded us once more, quotes, stolen election, and a dark blot in Kenya's history. The legacies delivered under the forced marriage, though, is something to write home about. Your conclusion is that, for now, is my glass half full, Millie.
Yes.
Explain that paragraph for us, because in context of these marriages that happened during the elections or post-elections.
Well, you can actually choose to despair because of the circles that you've been going. And unfortunately for me, I've actually been at the heart of all these, election riggings or claims of riggings and killings and, sort of coming together.
Yeah.
And for me, at the first time, I despaired. And I despaired because I was like, when I came in at the first time, we lost 1,200 people. And I was helping our party document some of those, deaths. And I actually went through trauma, just documenting those kind of cases. And for me then, I only saw the glass half empty. Things were really horrible.
Okay.
But then we were forced into a marriage. People nowadays talk about certain issues as though Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga decided, hey, Kibaki, come, let's work together. No, the international community asked them to work together for the sake of peace in the country. And so Honorable Raila reluctantly agreed to work for the sake of the country. And even though that was one of the, when we came, it was one of the most difficult arrangements when we got in, I saw the most development within that period in the country.
Okay.
And then we were holding each other accountable because we didn't trust each other. So we very seriously oversighted each other during that period because it was a forced marriage. And a forced marriage is often devoid of love. However, in such a marriage, you will always be looking at your partner to try and find, catch them off guard, get them doing something wrong. And that's what happened, and it worked for the good of the country.
Okay.
And that's why I was saying, for me, that was my glass half full. And then I've also chosen to see that even as we are looking for, my book is also a hopeful book, that things will eventually change. But if we are looking for the change, as we are looking forward for the change, we don't need to despair. We can look at the glass half full. We don't need to despair.
Okay. The book, Millie, is largely also about you as a woman leader, as a politician. You also reflect on a lot of campaign violence, especially against women. You've also reflected on the party nominations, what happens during the elections, and the general perception as a whole that women have to be compromised or have to compromise in order to get to that seat of power. In fact, you are known as Bad Girl Millie, and you say, unless you're a bad girl, only bad girls get the corner office, Millie. So take me through also that reflection.
Well, the reason why I thought also that I had to pen up our experiences is because when I talk to very many women leaders who have been elected before, they've actually gone through amazing challenges. But when we couch it together, like just saying, I went through violence, that doesn't mean anything. But when Naomi Shaban tells you that on the day of one of the days that she went through election, somebody was killed outside her house. If Millie Odhiambo tells you that her bodyguard with a name and a family was killed, and I take you through that process, then you're actually putting reality to the word, this big word, violence. It's not just violence. It's something that happens to people. It's something that affects people's lives. So for me, one of the reasons why I came up with this book was to let people know the reality in politics. I hear people normally say that, or, like I like people, I find it very amusing when I hear people saying that some of you, all you need to say is say Baba and you are elected. Then you go try saying Baba and see how you get elected.
If you'll get a certificate. Okay.
Yeah, of course, Baba is good, but you will not get elected just because you say Baba.
You shouted Baba.
If Baba supports you, it's a good thing, but you still have to go through so much in order to get elected. And that is what I document there.
Okay.
And also, women, as women go through the gendered innuendos, and I decided I'm going to call them as they are. I'm not hiding what women have to go through to get elected. And part of my glass half full is that those things can only change when we break the silence.
Okay. Very interesting read indeed. I know there's the aspect of animosity, the balance between men and women, and the kind of favors they get in politics, even